We're excited about being into game week. Obviously, we're well into it at this point. We've got a Big Ten team in Minnesota coming in, and obviously they've got a team that is very physical in nature. It's their conference, and it's also their coaching staff's personality. And you know, we've got to continue to prepare, and we'll have to play a great game if we're going to upset them on Thursday night.
The end of last season playing pretty well. Do you expect that kind of team to come in here Thursday?
You know, it's the first game. It's a new year. Hard to know. We expect them to play really well. You know, they're well coached. They've got a veteran senior quarterback. I mean, all indications are they'll come in here and play well on Thursday, Mark. And you're right. They did finish up last season on a high note.
Coach, how nice is it to have 4 games at home? It's just, I'd say, really a question for all 3 of you. We'll start with you, Bobby.
It's great to open the season at home. You know, all the things that go into getting on the field to run a play for that first game. You know, it takes a lot of work and effort, and certainly without the travel component, it makes it easier. Beyond that, 4 straight's kind of quirky, but it is what it is. So, you know, it'll be great.
Yusef, does it give you an opportunity maybe to get off to a fast start?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's always nice playing at St. Boyd. You know, it's my senior year, so these are my last few home games. So I'm just going to enjoy them regardless. So, yeah, I think 4 straight will put us in our comfort zone. I think so.
Sidney, last year, you go to Wisconsin, and you know, where they were huge favorites. Now you got a game at home against Minnesota, which is a game that you guys play well. It's very winnable, obviously, and so is a little bit of a little extra excitement then as far as going after that first one.
Right. I mean, just playing at home is exciting in general. You know, coming out and having a community behind your back is a good feeling.
Bobby, how will you gauge progress this year?
Well, we'll watch the film. What do you mean in terms of numbers?
Wins,
I'm busting your chops a little, Ed.
Win, success.
We need competitiveness. We need to improve. Certainly, we want more wins than we've had, Ed. I mean, that goes without saying. Nobody here is happy with our record, but you know, we've got a team that I think has put in a lot of work. I think they're eager. They like to play, and so we've got to measure success both in terms of wins and also in terms of progress and playing better and being more competitive. And I think with that being said, we've got guys that love football, and that's going to show up. And if it does, if you look at our depth chart, we've got a chance to be a pretty solid team for the near future.
What areas do you want to see change from last year, maybe years past, if you could specifically pinpoint a few spots going into this year?
I don't know that you can pinpoint anything other than say we got to get better as a football team. I mean, we've got to be better on offense, we've got to be better on defense, we've got to be better in the kicking game. So, you know, we need to go. I think some of the things we've done in terms of we don't have a lot of administrative penalties, we tackle pretty well, we play hard, we're physical. I mean, I think those things have kind of become a standard for the guys on our team. So now the evolution would be to execute better. Also, I think we've recruited better. We've got better football players on our roster, even though a lot of them are first and second year players. I think we've got better football players on our roster, and then obviously with a couple of veterans sitting on either side of me to supplement that, we've got hopes to play well this year.
What about defensive? Where have you maybe made changes, or do you see progress there?
Well, again, we just got to grow them up, I think. I mean, what we do X's and O's wise not much different than people that play really well around the country. So we just got to keep growing our guys up, and we've got to execute on defense.
You talk about these improvements that you want to see and kind of making the program more of a winning program. That can't all happen in this first game, but how important is it to get off on the kind of a right foot for trying to make this an improvement?
Yeah, well, we want to go have a good performance. It's one of 13. We only get 13 this year. Most years we only get 12, so they all matter. They're all important. Because it's the one we play this week, it's the most important game on the schedule, and then when it's gone, it's the next one. That's how you have to approach seasons. So we want to go play well on Thursday night, and as I said earlier, we've got to play a great game if we're going to upset a team from the Big Ten.
Yusef, it seems like you've gotten the impression that everybody's really confident going in this year. Why are the players so confident that things are going to be better this year?
I mean, absolutely, we're confident. This is our third year under Coach Hauck, and since I've been here, we've come a long way. We've grown a lot. We've had some tough times, we've had downs, but I just feel like this year things are really coming together. Guys are truly excited to play. Everybody's keying in, everybody's focused, and we just all want to win. It's been tough, but we're really looking to this year, to win and just execute and be a good team. So, I mean, we're just confident.
What are some of those changes that you have seen? And obviously, I think you say going into the third year under Bobby, people who've been in the program have probably gotten bigger, faster, stronger.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, like he touched on, we have better recruits. We got guys that just want to play, It's just more competitive at practice. Guys are out there getting fired up, It's just a different atmosphere than what I'm used to. But, I mean, like I said, over the last 3 years, we've come just such a long way, and I just think this year we're ready to kind of unleash and explode, you know what I'm saying?
Some of that you have to do, frankly, you got some of the malcontents are basically gone. Right?
Excuse me?
The malcontents are basically gone from last year. That has a lot to do with it.
The malcontents?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I would say so. I think, every year it's just a new team. I don't know, this year is I just feel something different about this year, like we got 4 home games, off top, so I think we're going to get off to a good start. But we put in the work, now we just got to go out there and compete and execute. That's what it's about, bottom line.
You'll start a quarterback. It'll be, the note says, the 8th starter in 9 years at that position. Obviously, it hasn't been because you've been graduating seniors who have performed. So do you give him more rope and just say, if this is going to be the guy, let's make him the guy instead of wanting, instead of having that position so in flux?
Well, to a degree, that'd be right, Ed. But the other part of it is we're out here to win games, so you can't just ride a guy who's not playing well either. We're out there to win the game. So, guys have to get the job done, in whatever the position, especially the quarterback position. But Nick, I mean, we're well aware of the fact he's a freshman, and he's going to do some freshman things, and that will happen, and we accept that and acknowledge that when we decided to start him. But he's also got some great things about him in terms of being smart, having a big arm, being accurate, having a great understanding of what we're trying to get done. So, he's got great growth potential, and we're going to have to endure, as you implied, some of those freshman things as we go through it. But that doesn't mean that the other guys won't play, certainly.
Has this been harder than you thought it would be?
What is that?
Building program.
I don't know. I mean, you go into every situation you get into with your eyes open. It takes time. One of my buddies said it's like turning an aircraft carrier around, which is kind of what it is. It's not like we're at Ohio State or something where you walk in the door and the pieces are pretty much in place and you tinker with it a little bit and then you go. I mean, I don't think anyone would say that was the case here. I mean, we had to acknowledge that this was a complete makeover, and I think, listening to these guys, they would agree that we're in progress on that.
Coach, kind of building on what you were saying about Nick, will the full playbook be in play, or do you kind of go in a little more conservatively in game 1 with him to kind of ease him into things?
Well, full playbook is, I mean, it's not going to look like Peyton Manning's playbook, but we're going to have a pretty comprehensive offensive plan. I mean, and then you have to in first games because you don't know what they're going to do. I mean, there's no new film from last year, so you game plan off of last year's film, and you got to have enough to go to if they change up.
What have you told him this week, or what were you telling Thursday? Again, this is a young man who hasn't played since high school. What do you tell him?
A couple of things. You tell all your young players the same thing, but you probably spend more time at the quarterback. One, it's not your game to win or lose. Well, actually, not your game to win, frankly. So you don't have to win the game by yourself. You've got 10 other teammates out of there. You got 1/11 as your slice of the pie, and you got to go out there and handle the early flurry and relax and go play. And the other thing we've told them is, remember, punting's good. There's nothing wrong with punting the ball once in a while.
Sidney, just talk about game 1. I mean, you've been beating up on each other, and now you get to go hit somebody else. Talk about the excitement of finally getting out there and just playing a game on Thursday.
Yeah, I mean, finally just getting away from beating up our offense. I mean, it'll be good to go beating on the other team, the Gophers. I mean, we've been training so hard since spring, even since mat drills. So to finally get out here this Thursday, it'll be good.
What about getting the battle-worn jersey and just being a local guy, what that means to you?
No, it means a lot. You know, my first year I saw Ronnie Paulo wear it, and then it was handed to Nate Carter, and then it was given to me. So hopefully I can make it lead up to the expectation.
Kind of leader on the defense now. Just talk about taking that role and fixing a spot that's been a problem for this team over the past few years.
Yeah, I mean, just getting out there, just getting everybody to where they need to, whatever they need to do, or probably just get everybody's attitude right. Just focus on their 111 and make the defense come together.
Bobby, you talk about Minnesota's quarterback. It's a guy who can obviously throw it, but he runs pretty well too. He's a universal guy.
Yeah, Gray's he's a big physical kid. He's got the ability to throw it down the field. As Mark mentioned, they finished last season awfully well. He did some really nice things down the stretch. He looked like he was growing into a little bit in the early film last year and really kind of evolved and played well last year. So we expect him to be a tough part of their offense to stop. Their offense really centers around him, and you have to find a way to get him corralled, and it's no easy task. There are a lot of people who were not able to do that last year at times, and he's big and fast. He'll be as big as the defensive ends we've got trying to tackle him.
Sidney, what do you think will be the biggest change we'll see in the defense this year from last year?
Attitude. We're going to go out there, try to knock some heads off. It's all about getting turnovers and making sure our offense gets the ball as many times as they can.
Bobby, you mentioned the defensive ends. That's where you've really struggled as far as running team against this type of quarterback. Do you feel the guys you have in place now can better handle this assignment?
Well, we kind of get to see on Thursday, but yeah, I do feel that way. I think we're bigger, faster, and more physical at defensive end. You know, we've got guys that haven't played. You've got Jordan Sparkman, Parker Holloway, James Boyd, Bo Brents. I'm missing one. But we've got guys that haven't played much Division I football out there, but they look the part. They've worked hard at it, and so they get a chance when the lights go on Thursday against a pretty mobile quarterback to see if they've got it.
Yusef, you talk about it. You know, we keep talking about Nick as a freshman. I mean, his success is going to be clearly based upon what you guys can do in the protection. You can just talk about taking on that role and protecting a young man back there. Doesn't happen.
Well, we have 5 returning starters, so within the last 2 years we've really come together and meshed. We all have like a really good relationship. We're all brothers, and at the end of the day, offensive line is about having each other's back, working together, communicating. So, I mean, we're going to do our best to protect Nick. We know he's young. We know he's going to take some lumps, but we're just going to do the best we can to protect him. And, I personally have a lot of faith in him. He's done some really good things in practice, and, we're going to do our part, so we're going to make sure he's comfortable back there.
What do you tell him on Thursday? Do you say anything to him?
I just, I'm just telling him have fun, I mean, it's kind of coming to an end for me. I'm a senior, so it's kind of surreal. So I just want him to have fun. I want him to enjoy these days. I don't want him to take anything for granted, If he makes a mistake, we're going to pick him up, and I want him to have fun. That's all. That's all college football is about. It's about having fun and just going out there and competing. So.
Comforting, Bobby, to know that you got all 5 back in the O-line and you got such a strong running game when you are starting a freshman quarterback?
Well, I think when you can run the ball, it opens everything up, certainly. And if an offense, for us, if the offense is being successful, we're running the ball and we're throwing it. We've got some balance. So, yeah, a little bit. I think we'll run the ball fine. I think we'll throw it substantially better than we did a year ago. I kind of get some humor out of the fact that we talk about our veteran offensive line with 3 sophomore starters. So.
Speaking of the running game, what's the latest in Deontay as far as how he's coming back?
The last couple of days he went yesterday and looked pretty good. His ankle's still bothering him a little bit, but I think he's You know, he'll be there. He'll be there on Thursday.
Bradley still be your number 2 at this point.
Yeah, I think so. You know, we'll keep going through today, but that's the way I think it looks.
Marcus Sullivan will be ready to go.
We'll see, won't we? We're waiting for Minnesota to produce a depth chart too.
Bobby, what about you?
Is that all right for me to say?
Yeah.
All right, good. All right.
Bobby, what about you for game 1? I mean, you've been asked about rebuilding the program and stuff that you're expecting for this.
First games are always kind of nerve-wracking because you don't know what you're going to get from either side. And, you know, I think it's exciting. It's fun. As I said, we've got a Big Ten football team coming in here. And we have hopes that we're going to be highly competitive. And we'll see if we can stand up to that kind of pressure.
One last injury thing. Eric Johnson, Nick was the latest on him.
He's still trying to get back, Mark. I'm not sure if we'll have him or not.
So, not knowing about Sullivan, I mean, hypothetically, Sullivan can't be the player you wanted to be. Does that mean Taylor's kind of your deep threat then?
Maybe we'll play Sidney both ways. I don't know. We'll figure that one out. And those guys are pretty interchangeable. They know different positions, so we'll plug guys in. And you know, if you're down at certain position groups, you play different groups. You don't always have to play. That's the beauty of offense. You can make it work with you can play more tight ends or more backs or whatever.